Hey guys, it's Michael. Welcome back to my YouTube channel today with a very interesting topic. Whenever athletes want to learn a pull-up or a muscle-up, the first piece of equipment they purchase are those resistance bands. Whereas this is a super nice tool, many athletes don't know how much resistance these bands actually provide. So what we did in this video is we teamed up with Pull Up and Dip. They got us these nice bands and we simply measured the resistance for you, so you know the next time you do an assisted muscle up or an assisted pull up how much resistance the bands from Pull Up and Dip actually help you. Okay, let's start with some theory. When I step into that band to do a pull up or a muscle up like this, the resistance of this band changes with the length it is extended to. So when I am here, it has a different resistance versus when I'm hanging here. So what we did is we took the back scale that you know from the old video, from our latest one, and we just measured like this the resistance the band has for different lengths, like this, and then we plotted it for you, and Excel was so nice to give us a formula, so now you can just measure your hanging length. So basically the length that you have when you're hanging in the deadlift position on the bar, like this. So you measure the length because that will be the length that you extend the band. And with the formulas, you can now calculate exactly the resistance that the band helps you in the bottom position that you then have for a pull-up or even a muscle-up. What we are doing now is measuring the black band of Pull Up and Dip. We have a scale here, so we can always measure the length. We have a back scale here that shows us the resistance that fits to a certain length, and then we're tracking the lengths so we can find out at which height you have which assistance for your pull-ups, muscle-ups, or whatever you're doing on the bar. So I will show you now how I take the values for this band, and then I will repeat this for the heavier and also the lighter band. So now putting the scale in like this. First value is length 127, carrying it 127 gives us 18.3 kg resistance. Then always double checking it. 127, 70.7, and these I do always 3 times, and the average value will then be the final value. To give you some estimation of how much these resistance bands actually help you in the bottom position of a pull-up or a muscle-up, I just plotted the formulas with my values. My hanging length, so that hanging position length, is around 2 meters and 20 centimeters. So I stretch the band around this value in the bottom position of my pull-up and chin-up, and the red band gave me around 11 kg assistance in that bottom position. The black band already had almost 23 kg assistance. To be fair, this one was completely new, so a bit more stiff. It gets a bit loose over time, so the formula is more valid, especially for the black band for newer bands. And the blue one almost gave me 27 kg of assistance. So when I train with this one, the bottom position is very barely loaded for me. So as we now saw, this band already gave me around 30 kg of assistance in the bottom position. what you often see with athletes is that they're training muscle ups with bands like this, so even heavier bands, whereas they cannot perform a muscle up or a high pull up at all without it. Because as you saw, 30 kg, we didn't measure this because we don't suggest training muscle ups with such heavy bands like this. But the conclusion that I want to give you out of all these values is that if you're learning pull-ups and muscle-ups, you should not rely only on training with these bands. They are a very, very nice tool, especially for the technique work, where you really want to deload the movement, to be able to do a controlled transition in the muscle-up, or to work on a proper scapular position on a pull-up. But when it comes to the actual strength and hypertrophy training, it is not recommended to work only with these bands, as they deload your bottom position heavily. And in that position where you need to be the strongest, you get the most resistance out of these bands. So if you train with bands, do that, as bands are a super nice tool, but orientate yourself rather to the more lighter bands that give you a moderate resistance versus the ones that make it possible for you to train elements that your body is not capable of doing yet. This will probably not bring you the results that you want to have, so rather stick to the lighter bands. So if you want to find out how much the pull-up and dip resistance band help you in your bottom position, I've wrote down the formulas where you just put in your hanging length in, so you can calculate your own values, so you know for your training how far away you are from a free muscle up or a free pull up. And if you are also interested in leveling up your training, especially for the ones that are interested in muscle up training, I also linked you a study that we recently published about muscle ups training. And of course, if you're interested in working with me as your coach, then schedule a free consulting call now.